think there must be something wrong with me, Linus. Christmas is coming, but I'm not happy. I don't feel the way I'm supposed to feel. Just don't understand Christmas, I guess. I like getting presents and sending Christmas cards and decorating trees and all that, but I'm still not happy. I always end up feeling depressed.
Charlie Brown, you're the only person I know who can take a wonderful season like Christmas and turn it into a problem.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Vibrations and Manifestations. I'm Jared.
And I'm Alicia. I feel like I need a second cup of coffee just to process everything we've pulled together for today. It's a lot.
Good morning. It is a lot, but it's a good kind of intensity, you know?
Yeah, totally. It's like finding a key that suddenly makes like 100 other little things finally make sense. How are you feeling about it this morning?
I'm feeling surprisingly practical about it all. I mean, we often talk about these really big abstract ideas, right?
Mm-hmm.
But today, with everything from psychology to neurology to, spiritual work, it all points to this one very, very pragmatic truth.
Which is what?
The state of your life is just the clearest mirror of your internal state. It's really just physics at the end of the day.
I love that. Physics. Okay, let's unpack this for everyone listening, because today we are doing a deep dive into a concept that sounds, well, maybe a little philosophical.
A little bit.
But it has these immediate, measurable, physical and energetic consequences for you. And that concept is energetic integrity. Our mission today is, I think, pretty straightforward, but also really profound. We're going to guide you to see exactly where your internal truth, who you are right now, and your external life.
So your commitments, your home, your daily habits.
Exactly. Where those things are out of sync.
Yeah.
And we need to understand why that misalignment is such an energy drain. Then, and this is the most important part, we'll get into the gentle, non-forceful ways to bring it all back into what the experts call coherence.
And that mission, that goal is just so perfectly timed with when this deep dive is coming out. We know so many of you are listening right around Christmas Day.
Right. It's this natural pause in the year, no matter how you celebrate it, or even if you don't.
It really is.
And that seasonal energy is so powerful, and it's different depending on where you are in the world. So if you're listening from the Northern Hemisphere, you're in that deep, deep stillness of winter.
Yes. That quiet inward energy.
Totally. It's all about going inside, recalibrating, and it brings up themes of, truth-telling and crooning away what's not essential anymore. It's a time to ask what really matters here.
And on the flip side, if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, you're right in the middle of summer. And that energy is completely different.
So intense.
It's all about clarity, exposure, contrast. The summer light just, it reveals everything. It makes you look at what you've built and ask if it can really stand up in the bright light of day.
So no matter where you are, the message is kind of the same, isn't it?
It's perfectly aligned.
This is a powerful moment to pause and be really, really honest with yourself. To ask if the life you're living on the outside still fits the person you've become on the inside.
It's that pause before the big push of the new year. And that brings us right to the heart of it all. Energetic integrity.
So what is the working definition we're using today?
We're defining it as that really powerful state where 5 key areas are all in sync, where they're all telling the same story.
Okay, what are the 5?
Your underlying beliefs, your emotional state, your day-to-day actions, the spaces you live and work in, and the relationships you're in. When they're all in agreement, that's coherence.
So it's when there's no internal static,
Yeah.
no conflicting signals.
Exactly.
But let's talk about the problem, because this is where that energy drain comes from.
When that integrity is broken, when those 5 parts are telling different stories, energy doesn't just fade, it actively leaks.
Motivation just vanishes, and you're spending all this power just to maintain the facade, the misalignment.
And our goal today is to help you fix those leaks gently through honest, precise realignment, not by blowing everything up.
Gentle is the key word. And I think before we get into the mechanics of it, it's so important to ground this in a real story, because that low-grade friction, that's usually how this whole thing starts.
It's not a big explosion. It's a quiet hum of something being wrong.
Oh, I can speak to this so much. A couple of years ago, my life looked perfect. I mean, truly perfect on paper. Full calendar, career was going great, sensible plans, all this forward momentum. But I remember this one Tuesday morning so clearly. I was just standing in my kitchen, going through my routine, and I felt this knot just instantly deep in my stomach.
That physical knot.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the data point right there.
Yeah.
So what were the other little symptoms? Because those are the things we so often just ignore.
They were so subtle that at first I thought they were normal, like a tightness in my chest every morning before I even looked at my phone,
Wow.
specifically before checking my messages. Or my shoulders would creep up to my ears while I was answering emails. And these were emails about projects I supposedly wanted to do. I had agreed to them.
But the feeling had changed.
The feeling had completely changed. Things that used to be fun started to feel like these heavy, heavy obligations, not choices.
And that feeling right there, the difference between a choice and an obligation, that is the exact fracture line. You're describing that strange feeling of being disconnected from your own life, right?
Oh.
Like you're just watching someone else unload the dishwasher or type that email.
Yes. It wasn't drama. It wasn't a crisis. It was just this constant low-grade friction. And everything we looked at was so clear. Misalignment doesn't show up with a bang. It's this nagging, quiet, energetic drain.
Your body knew something was wrong long before your mind could build a story around it.
Long before, the body was sounding every alarm.
And we see those classic signs all the time. Feeling tired even when you've slept enough, procrastinating on things that you say really matter to you.
Procrastination was huge for me.
And those little flickers of irritation, right? Snapping about noise or clutter,
Yeah.
and then immediately feeling guilty because you think, I should be more grateful, I should be more patient.
Yes, the guilt. And the simple, really uncomfortable truth I had to finally admit was that my life's structure, my routines, my boundaries, all the agreements I'd made, they were built for an older version of me. It was the version of me that needed constant structure, that needed external validation, that needed all that forward momentum to feel safe and worthy.
And that's such a crucial insight for anyone listening. The person you were might have needed that tightness and effort to feel secure.
Right.
But the person you are now, that person might need spaciousness. They need honesty. They need room to respond authentically instead of just reacting to a schedule you designed 5 years ago.
And that was the whole turning point. The realization wasn't, oh my God, I've messed up my whole life. It was
No.
just, oh, I grew. That's it. And when you grow, but you don't adjust the structures around you, you create this inevitable conflict inside. So the repair wasn't about tearing everything down.
What was it about?
It was about stopping the gaslighting, stopping myself from saying, you should feel fine, everything is great. Instead, just gently asking, okay, but what would actually feel aligned now?
And that moment,
Yeah.
that simple question, that pause in the performance, that is the absolute beginning of integrity,
Yeah.
which takes us perfectly into the mechanics of what this energetic frequency actually is.
Okay, let's get into the mechanics. Because we throw around words like frequency or vibration, but what are the actual tangible parts of that beyond just think positive?
Right. Well, the frameworks define frequency as this composite signal. It's shaped by 5 interconnected elements. And you can't have coherence unless all 5 are, singing the same song.
Okay, so lay them out for us. What are the 5?
First is what you believe. These are your deep down assumptions and values about yourself and the world.
Foundation.
The foundation. Second, how you feel. Your dominant emotional landscape, separate from what's happening outside of you. Third, what you do repeatedly. Your actions, your habits, your commitments.
Okay.
Fourth, the spaces you inhabit, your physical and even your digital environments.
Yeah.
And fifth, the relationships you maintain, that dynamic energy exchange you have with the people in your life.
So energetic integrity is just when all 5 of those are in agreement. It's a true internal-external match. The action doesn't feel like it's betraying the belief.
Precisely. And the core problem, that leakage problem we talked about, that happens when there's a mismatch anywhere in that system.
Can you give us a really simple example?
Totally. Let's say your core belief is, my well-being depends on getting 8 hours of restorative sleep.
Okay, that's the belief.
But your action, what you do repeatedly, is stay up until 2 in the morning answering emails that are definitely not urgent.
Right, so now the system has to deal with 2 conflicting signals. The belief says, I value rest, but the action is screaming, I prioritize external demands.
And that process of trying to reconcile those 2 things is incredibly draining. The friction between them is the energetic cost. The result. Your motivation is all over the place. Your outcomes are inconsistent.
It's like you're trying to manifest a feeling of ease and abundance, which is one frequency. But you're constantly performing burnout, which is a totally different frequency. Your system is just broadcasting this massive amount of static. It's like trying to listen to 2 radio stations at once.
You can't. And then we blame ourselves,
Right.
right? We blame our lack of motivation when really the system is just exhausted from managing its own internal conflict. It's not broken. It's just busy fighting itself.
That's such a powerful reframe.
It's a closed-loop system doing exactly what it's supposed to do, but we're feeding it contradictory data. And this leads to a really profound shift in how we think about integrity.
Go on.
Integrity, in this context, isn't about being perfect. It's not about being some kind of moral saint. It's fundamentally about sustained honesty across those 5 areas.
That is such a critical distinction because society often teaches us that integrity is about external performance, right? Doing what you said you do, even if it's killing you.
Yes.
But here, it's being redefined as internal coherence, the honest match between your inner truth and your outer life. And when that's high, the energy leakage stops. The system stabilizes. Integrity becomes like a vibrational stabilizer.
And this is where it gets so cool, because this isn't just a spiritual concept. It connects directly to established psychology and neuroscience. It just proves that this principle of friction is universal.
Oh, this is where it gets really interesting for me. Because the sheer amount of scientific confirmation for this idea of internal friction it's just staggering. I mean, if we look at it just through a science lens, energetic misalignment is a perfect description of cognitive dissonance.
Right, from Leon Festinger. And cognitive dissonance is that exact psychological stress, that friction you felt in your chest that happens when you hold 2 contradictory ideas, or more often, when your beliefs and your actions are total opposites.
We usually think about it in big terms, like huge moral dilemmas.
We do, but it's happening on a micro level every single day.
So can you give us a really mundane, everyday example of how that dissonance creates a measurable energy drain?
Absolutely. So imagine you genuinely believe that spending time in nature is vital for your mental health. That's a core belief. Yet your repeated behavior is commuting an extra hour each way, every day, to a higher paying job that keeps you indoors and stressed out.
Violating the core belief.
Completely. The tension that results from that is measurable dissonance. And that tension requires real metabolic energy to manage. You have to constantly justify the behavior, you have to expend energy to basically lie to yourself about how important the money is, or tell yourself you'll get around to hiking on the weekend even though you know you'll be too tired.
So that constant self-justification, that's the energy leak.
That's the leak. The fatigue we feel isn't just from the long day, it's from the mental gymnastics we're doing to keep the whole conflicting system from collapsing.
Wow. It's an instability that requires active, constant management, and that is incredibly costly. Which brings us back to what you said about the body's warning signs.
Exactly. It links directly to Antonio Damasio's somatic marker hypothesis.
Which is so critical because it explains why the body always knows first.
It confirms it.
Yeah.
The body recognizes the truth of the situation and the potential consequences of our choices way before our conscious logical mind does. These somatic markers are those super fast non-conscious signals.
Gut feeling.
Gut feelings, tension, a sudden drop in your heart rate. They're all alerting us to situations that conflict with our well-being. So that low-grade fatigue or tension isn't just stress. It's your body flagging the internal fracture, screaming, hey, this choice doesn't align with our truth, and this is the physical price we're paying for it.
You were feeling the energetic cost of the lie before you even knew what the lie was.
Precisely. Which then brings us to the nervous system, right? And that crucial link between authenticity and safety, which we see in Stephen Porges's polyvagal theory.
This explains that chronic, low-grade stress of being out of alignment.
It maps it out perfectly.
Yeah.
When we are truly aligned, when we feel safe, connected, authentic, our system is in what's called the ventral vagal state.
That's the rest and digest, peaceful, social state.
It is. But when we live out of alignment, when we're constantly performing a role or saying yes when we mean no, the nervous system downshifts.
It moves into the sympathetic fight or flight response, and that shows up as irritation, anxiety, that high alert energy.
Or, if it's been going on for a long time and you're just exhausted, you drop even further down into the dorsal vagal response, and that's shut down, collapse, that profound disconnection and fatigue.
So the nervous system sees the incoherence itself as a threat.
It sees it as danger, or at least chronic uncertainty. When you constantly betray your own truth, your nervous system registers your environment as unsafe. So integrity, being honest with yourself, becomes this direct pathway to nervous system safety. It signals to your body, I'm safe here because I'm telling the truth.
So whether you call it psychological stress or neurological safety, the mechanism is identical. Internal coherence equals stability, less friction, and a massive conservation of energy.
And that stability is reinforced when we look at the vibrational side of things. especially the research into emotional coherence from places like the Heart Math Institute.
Right. Heart math studies the heart's rhythm and shows that when you're in a state of inner alignment, like gratitude, it creates this highly coherent, stable biological signal.
Exactly. Integrity acts as a stabilizing frequency that improves your physiological balance across the board. It's not just a nice feeling, it's a measurable, harmonious state that cuts through all that energetic noise from the dissonance.
And then you have concepts like authenticity, which Brené Brown has brought into the mainstream, reminding us that integrity isn't about being perfect. It's about having the courage to live in alignment with your values, which is way harder than just achieving external success.
And even if you look at manifestation frameworks, you see the same principle. Abraham Hicks talks about alignment preventing resistance, which is just another word for cognitive dissonance. And Neville Goddard's work is all about the internal feeling matching the external expression for things to flow with ease instead of force.
It really is the distilled truth, isn't it? A lack of integrity isn't a moral failure. It's just a huge, quantifiable energy drain on your whole system. It's an inefficient engine.
And now that we get the mechanics, the why behind the conflict, we can shift from just talking about it to actually doing something about it. We can move into the practical, real-time repair,
Yeah.
the workshop.
Okay, so for you listening, this is a moment to just slow down. If you're driving, just stay focused, but bring some awareness to your breath. If you're able to, take a gentle breath in and let your shoulders drop away from your ears as you breathe out. Just settle your system.
This is so important. We need to do this audit from a place of calm, not from stress. We want honest data, not survival mode answers.
Right, so the first step is tool 1, the integrity audit. And remember, this is an inventory. It is not a self-critique. We are just gathering information.
That's all.
So if you feel safe to do so, you can close your eyes or just soften your gaze. We're going to bring to mind 4 major areas of your life, one by one, and I want you to try to bypass your thinking mind and just notice the very first immediate physical sensation in your body when I name the area.
Let's start with work and your daily responsibilities.
Yeah.
Just bring your calendar to mind, your main tasks, your obligations, and notice your body's response. Is it a feeling of openness, neutrality, or does it feel heavy, tight, tired, or energized? Just that first flicker.
Okay. Now, gently shift your attention to relationships. This is your partner, your family, your close friends. Feel the energy of those connections. How does your body respond now? Open, constricted. Do your shoulders tense up? Is there a warmth in your chest? Just notice.
Third, let's consider your environment and your routines. Think about your home, your car, the physical space you're in, and your daily habits, what you eat, when you move your body. Does your space feel supportive? Or does it feel cluttered and constricting? Again, just note that somatic response.
And finally, let's turn inward to your inner dialogue, your self-talk. What is the tone of the voice you use when you talk to yourself? Is it supportive, neutral? Is it critical, anxious? How does that voice feel in your throat or your stomach?
That initial body scan gives you the most accurate, unfiltered data. Now that you have those sensations, we can ask a few clarifying questions to link the physical feeling to the logical cause.
Ask yourself this slowly. Where am I saying yes out of habit or momentum or obligation rather than genuine truth? Think about that last text you answered or that invitation you accepted.
Next question. What specific area feels substantially heavier than it needs to feel right now? This is often where we're carrying things that aren't actually ours to carry.
And this one is so insightful for growth. What once fit me well, a role, a routine, an agreement, but now feels actively constricting. Because you've grown and maybe the container hasn't grown with you.
And the most important reminder here, you don't need any solutions yet. Integrity starts with awareness. You are just collecting honest data about where you are right now.
So now that we have the data, we can move to tool 2, the clarifying question that creates space. Gently bring your focus to the one area that felt the most charged during that audit. the one that felt the heaviest or the loudest?
We're going to isolate that point of friction. I want you to ask this question very slowly. Let the answer rise up to meet you. Don't go digging for it.
Okay.
Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, just ask silently, what am I holding that no longer fits who I'm becoming?
Let that answer arrive however it wants to. It could be a single word, a memory of a conversation, an image of a cluttered room, or just a raw feeling of resistance. Whatever it is, try not to explain it away. That urge to explain is just cognitive dissonance trying to keep things the same.
Instead, just receive it. Receive that piece of information and silently, with compassion, just acknowledge it. Say to it, I see you. And that's the whole practice. Recognition without resistance. You've just found the leak.
And now we can address it directly with Tool 3, closing energetic leaks. This is a reclamation practice. We move from the mental inventory to an embodied energy practice, bringing all that energy back home.
Imagine your energy not as something stuck inside you, but as this soft, permeable field that surrounds your body, maybe about an arm's length out. This field is your attention, your capacity.
Now just notice, does that feel thin, stretched out, pulled in a certain direction? That outward pull is often from obligations, from arguments you keep replaying in your head, from the weight of other people's expectations. That stretch is the energy leak.
The reclamation isn't forceful. It's a gentle, kind act of self-containment. On your next exhale, just imagine softly calling all of that scattered energy back to you. Picture it gathering around you gently, like you're pulling a favorite shawl around your shoulders. It's an act of recentering your resources.
And as that energy settles back around you, just say this affirmation silently to yourself. I am allowed to come back into myself. Feel it settle. Recognize that integrity is simply about coming home to yourself, not about some dramatic act of cutting things away.
And notice the feeling of relief that comes with that.
Yeah.
That little sigh. That is the immediate physical sensation of your alignment stabilizing.
That physical relief is your system saying, thank you, the signal is clearer now. Which sets us up perfectly for tangible, small-scale action, what we call manifestation debug mode.
I love this part because it reframes the whole issue. It's not a cosmic punishment or a personal failure. It's just technical maintenance.
Let's clear that static and tune into magic.
So take another slow, grounding breath. Inhale through your nose. And exhale slowly, like you're fogging up a mirror. Let's just recalibrate the signal.
Step 1, spot the signs of misalignment. Okay, let's just review the patterns of your life over the last few weeks, but with these new, fresh eyes. We're looking for the symptoms of that chronic, low-grade friction we talked about.
So are you feeling tired even after you've had enough rest? Are you dragging your feet toward things you say you really want? Are you finding yourself getting disproportionately irritated over little things?
Or, and this one is so telling, are the things you manifest, the goals you achieve, feeling a little underwhelming when they arrive? Is there that nagging sense of, I should be happier about this than I am?
All of those are indicators of that chronic energy drain. Your system is just too busy fighting itself to fully receive and enjoy the good things. So just mentally note if any of that resonates. No need to fix it, just recognize it.
Okay, now for step 2. Locate the internal fracture. We're going to use sensation as data. Bring to mind one specific situation or obligation that consistently drops your energy. You probably identified it in the audit. Now let's just dig a little deeper for the cause of that dissonance.
Ask yourself this first inquiry. Where am I forcing myself to stay the same? In a role, in a habit, in a commitment, when the truth is I've already changed? Where is that mismatch between the old structure and the new you?
And the second inquiry. What simple truth am I minimizing or just pretending isn't true to keep things comfortable for someone else, or maybe even for a past version of myself?
And locate the physical sensation of that conflict again. Is it in your chest, your throat, your stomach? Just recognize that sensation is pure, impartial data about the fracture. It is not a sign that you failed. It's just diagnostic information.
And this leads us to the most practical and gentle action. Step 3, repair through microintegrity. And we have to emphasize this. Repair does not require dramatic exits. It doesn't mean you have to quit your job or end your relationship tomorrow.
That pressure to do something huge is usually just the nervous system getting overwhelmed and shutting the whole process down before you even start.
Yeah.
So micro-integrity is the antidote to that overwhelm.
The action question then is really simple. What is one single small action that would bring me back into alignment with the truth I just uncovered?
And let's give some real-world examples of what a micro-repair could be. If you realize you're minimizing your need for rest, the micro-repair might be deleting one social media app off your phone for the rest of the day.
Or just blocking out the last 15 minutes of your workday on your calendar for silent planning instead of checking email one last time.
Right. Or if the fracture is around communication, the micro-repair might be saying a kind, compassionate no to a request instead of a draining maybe. Or if you uncovered a preference you've been suppressing, like you secretly hate cooking big meals, the micro-repair is just admitting that and ordering pizza tonight, without guilt.
The practice is to just imagine taking that one honest step and feel the immediate physical relief that comes when your internal truth and your external action finally match. That's coherence returning. That relief is the reward.
And finally, the step that keeps it all stable. Step 4. Release the urgency to resolve everything. We have to actively counter that psychological pull to fix the entire problem all at once.
It's so strong.
It is. So take another slow, settling breath. And just silently say to yourself, I do not need to fix my whole life today. I only need to tell the truth right where I am.
Integrity repairs compound. They build on each other. One small, honest adjustment stabilizes the entire system. You clean up the signal at one point, and suddenly the path forward just feels clearer, quieter, more grounded. The static is gone.
And having done that audit and that planning, we can now anchor this feeling of stability. We'll move into a guided visualization to return to coherence. This is all about creating an internal physical reference point for what alignment feels like.
Yes, we want you to internalize this feeling in your body so that you can recognize the friction much faster next time it shows up. So if it feels safe for you, just gently close your eyes or soften your gaze downward. We'll move slowly here.
Just take 3 deep, easy breaths. Let the weight of your body really settle into your chair or into the floor beneath you.
Now, in your mind's eye, imagine you're standing in a softly lit, calm room. This room is your inner world. It's perfectly still, perfectly safe, and it represents the current structure of your life.
Now visualize the 4 walls of this room. Each wall represents one of those domains we audited. The wall in front of you is work and purpose. The wall behind you is relationships. The wall to your right is your environment and routines. And the wall to your left is your inner dialogue and beliefs.
Just take a moment to observe these walls. Which ones feel solid, grounded, true? Which ones maybe feel a little tilted or strained? Maybe one has a coat of paint that reflects the person you used to be but aren't anymore. No judgment. Just observe the reality of your alignment right now.
And now, in your imagination, we'll make some gentle, non-forced adjustments. If that wall of work felt tilted, just imagine placing a hand on it and gently guiding it back into true, upright alignment. The adjustment is easy. It's not a struggle. A wall straightens, a light softens. Maybe a door opens to let in some fresh air.
Feel the physical sensation of that imaginary realignment. When the structure matches your current truth, it takes so much less effort to maintain.
Take a deep breath now and internally repeat this affirmation, giving yourself full permission. I am allowed to live in alignment with who I am now. Just feel that permission settle into your body.
As the room settles, imagine a calm, coherent energy filling the whole space, like a quiet, steady hum of stability. This is the energy of no friction, zero static.
Now silently repeat. When my inner truth and outer life align, my energy flows with ease.
And if you identified a little micro-integrity repair earlier, saying that gentle no, or taking that app off your phone, imagine just placing that decision gently into this newly aligned room. It belongs here. Feel the relief of that integration.
And for our final anchor, just repeat this mantra of conscious choice. I choose honesty over habit. I choose coherence over force. I choose alignment that feels peaceful and sustainable.
Now slowly, gently, bring your awareness back to your physical body. But try to maintain the feeling of that stable, coherent inner room as a somatic reference point. You now have a blueprint for what integrity feels like, which will make it so much easier to spot misalignment in the future.
Which brings us to our final takeaway. The journey today has been clear. Energetic integrity is just coherence. It's when your beliefs, feelings, actions, and environment are all in sync. And misalignment. It isn't a failure, it's just a sign that you've grown, and your outer life needs an update to catch up with the amazing person you've become.
And I think the deepest insight for me is that integrity isn't about fixing yourself. You're not broken. It's about allowing the structures of your life to finally reflect the truth of who you already are. And when that match happens, the energy stops leaking. Everything becomes steadier, easier, more sustainable.
Which brings us to the single distilled takeaway for today. When your life matches your vibration, things don't just happen faster. They feel exponentially better when they arrive. The ease is the entire point.
That feeling of ease, that's the signal you're no longer forcing things. You're allowing. So our challenge for you today is simple. Make one small integrity repair today. One honest adjustment. One aligned yes. Or one compassionate no. Nothing huge. Just one micro step.
Especially because of the timing, we really encourage you to weave this into your day. Whether you're celebrating Christmas or just having a quiet day, focus on presence over production.
Notice where you can soften instead of overextending yourself with family or obligations. Be truly present during a meal instead of trying to manage everyone else's experience. Let the simple joys, a movie, a game, a moment of laughter, let that be enough. Let your presence be the highest form of alignment today.
Choosing quiet magic, choosing delicious food, choosing to rest, allowing nothing to be proven or produced today. That conscious choice is the ultimate act of energetic integrity on a day like this one.
So as you go about your day, just grant yourself permission to operate in a way that truly matches who you are becoming, not who the calendar or other people's expectations say you should be. The relief you feel from that simple act of honesty, that's your entire system coming back into balance.
That choice, honesty over habit, is the most powerful tool you have for sustained well-being and clear intention. Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive.
We really hope this is giving you some practical, gentle tools to restore coherence right where you need it most. We're wishing you so much peace, love, rest, and goodwill this week.
Take care, and we look forward to speaking with you again soon.